Opa! Welcome everybody to Stavvy's World. 904-800-STAV. Call in, we'll solve your problems. We got Jim Norton. We're so pumped to have the legend on the couch in Astoria in Queens. Thanks so much for being here, dude.
Dude, coming here in Astoria, it reminded me of so many times where I would look through Backpage.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, was the last time you were here to purchase sex?
It was crazy. It's the first time I've walked into Queens without pulling my dick out.
Yeah, there must be different flavors up here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, when you want to mix it up.
I had one. I actually didn't come to Queens as much just because Manhattan is such a choice.
Sure.
But I came here years ago and I went to, I don't know if it was Jackson Heights, Astoria.
Yeah.
But I walk out and there's this drunk Spanish guy that kind of started looking at me, and then he puts up his fist to fight me, and he was so fucking drunk. I'm like, I could kill this guy.
Yeah.
But I walked away, and he's following me, and then I just ran up the street. This guy chased me up the street. I felt like such a fucking coward.
Wow.
And then he's trying to throw down with me. And I'm like, hey man, there's kids around. And I finally lost him on the train. I went on the subway and lost him.
That's insane.
But I'm like, what
You're
am I
doing a full action movie, get on the train, up and down the steps, trying to lose this just drunk Hispanic man.
But I also thought you never know. First of all, I hit the guy. He was just he was just that fight. He was a little guy all. And I'm like, I don't know who he's got around here. Does he live here? If I hit him, I get my ass kicked by 10 guys. So,
well, you're also fresh. You freshly nutted, so it's like you have all your senses. You're really thinking logically.
Yeah.
You're like, because if you're still horny, you're like, I'm gonna fuck this guy up and I'm gonna get pussy. But you had just nutted.
Yeah.
So you're like, I have to fear a lawsuit. I have to get home. You know.
Yeah, there's children here, sir. Behave.
Yeah. I could hear them at recess while I was eating a trans woman's ass earlier. That didn't bother me, but now we can't put fisticuffs up.
Dude, if I was on my way into her apartment, I would have pushed a stroller in front of a train. Get that! And then ran the fucking...
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Yeah, the Backpage. So I was a very... Because now you can't... I think it's off the internet.
It's all gone.
You really have to know what to do. Oh, man, another egregious government overreach. The FBI coming in and shutting it down. When I was in college, getting absolutely no pussy whatsoever, I think because I was a coward, I never called.
Sure.
But I did a lot of perusing and jacking off.
Oh, yeah.
I did a lot of, put the first 5 digits in the thing and then you know what I mean, coming immediately. I never actually had the guts to and I think probably I got lucky in that I grew up there's enough internet, whereas the first time you probably had to buy sex, it was a true, it was all numbers, it was all kind of random, it was all seedy, there was no safety to it from the jump, right?
Dude,
it was all dangerous.
I remember I bought phone sex, and this is old school. I had to send a money order into California, and been jerking off longer than some of you are alive.
Wait a second. You had to get a money order?
Dude,
so you had to you had to go get a money order weeks before you wanted to jack off.
$90 for a money order. I mail it into California. They mailed me through a registered mail a bunch of phone numbers. And you had 30 days those numbers were good for. So you could call and jack off any time of the day.
Wow.
But they were all California, so I'd be on my way to work. Right. And I called at 7 in the morning. It was 4 a.m. there. Yeah. And the woman was like, you want to talk dirty now? And she was a fucking buzzkill. But yeah, it was all magazines back then. And I remember I went down to fucking...
So I'm just real quick, and I want to hear that.
Oh, yeah.
So you're telling me it was more like a monthly pass. It wasn't by the minute. It was all you can jerk $90. That seems like a pretty good deal.
It was until you get fucking cranky woman who doesn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm a customer, lady. Customer's always right.
Oh, I would love customer service on phone. It's just the same women without just dropping with their real voice. They're
Can I speak to your manager? That lady's a bitch. Yeah, I'll talk to her.
That's hilarious.
But you'd have to mail in, man. It was a different experience than now. Yeah.
Wow, Jim, hold on, quiet. I just made a sale. Holy hell, I made a sale thanks to Shopify. Sign up right now. You want to be like me, make money selling stuff on Shopify? It's easy. You can make your store easy, customize it. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Stavvy. all lowercase, Stavvy. Go to shopify.com, Stavvy now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/Stavvy. My apologies, Mr. Norton. I mean, I cannot believe that's such a level of dedication of like I almost wonder if ADD has helped certain types of sex addiction go away, because you had to focus to become a sex addict.
Yeah.
There were so many steps.
Yes.
So like, I can't even imagine, like, even the times I've thought, like I said, thought about going, so whatever, like going to a prostitute, whatever, I have always jacked off. There's so, like, I could just jack off. It's right there in front of me. Whereas like, if I really had to wait for it, like, I think it's a generational thing where it's like you really earned your sex addiction.
Yeah.
There was no like really falling into it.
No, I worked for it.
Yeah, you really worked for it.
I worked for it. You know, when I was like 9 or 10, when you blow all your friends, you're like, this is going somewhere. Stick with it, Jim. It's like I had a gift.
Yeah. Wow, that, like, you know how they have that story about Wayne Gretzky as a baby sitting and watching hockey and crying?
Yeah.
You're watching gay porn and then like, oh, you turn it off, put it back on. Baby Jim doesn't like when it's off.
My father was Earl Woods. He took me out of the Mike Douglas show and he had me blow 10 boys my age.
A prodigy. That's so funny.
Yeah, but it starts, and it was weird. It's weird to go through this whole era of like, as it gets faster and faster and it gets easier. But I always do the same thing. Like this, do you remember Screw magazine?
No, Mr. Screw.
Yeah, that was how it was tactile. Like you'd have to go to the adult bookstore, you'd buy a screw, or you'd get it from the newsstand, and then you would just peruse. And I got into credit card debt. There was this one, in here in New York, they had this thing where there was a whole bunch of lovely transgender gals in this one house.
Wow!
And I put down my credit card because why would they steal from me?
Yeah.
And,
you opened up a tab.
I opened up a tab. 100% right.
You want to pay for it up front or just leave your card? Leave the card. I'll be back.
So it was like I did it, and they ran me into about $10,000.
Holy shit.
I was in credit card debt for years, and the only reason I got out of it is because I would call, and this took me years to get this off. And they were like, "What are these charges?" And I'm like, "Well, I was going to see escorts." Like people are usually embarrassed about that, but I was single. I didn't care. I was lonely and desperate and wanted connection. But I finally got rid of it. But that took me years to untangle.
Wow, that's incredible. So they were just like, and the people were like, "Oh, okay." You didn't pay for this much sex, or what? They like took it off your thing, or you said it was fraud, or what?
Well, no, the sex I paid for, but they would use it for other things. Like they take your credit card and then they would charge
size 11 heels.
Yes, exactly.
You know, like the largest heels you've ever seen in your life.
A prom dress and Uggs.
Okay, I see. And you got those charges off. Good for you, man.
Over years, yeah. But I would save. I had paperwork saved for years because it was, again, you had to call and wait. There was none of the online stuff. And
I respect
it was
that. I respect staying. Yeah, the shame. That is the one time how having no shame has really, it saved you a nice 10 G's, it sounds like.
It did, yeah, because I never felt better than anybody. Like, I always felt like, oh, they're doing me such a favor by fucking me. Thank you.
Right.
I loved them.
A good customer.
Yeah.
A great customer. And so what ages are these where it's like, because I caught the tail end of like, you know, physical porn. We caught the like, go to Royal Farm, you know, go to like a gas station, whatever. They still had that one rack.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we were like, you know, Greektown was right by like, there's a lot of truck stops and all. So you got just a little bit of throwback stuff, but we never called the number or anything like that. So you're talking about what's the early, like when are you buying from, what age are you when you're getting that money order? How old are you?
The money order, I might have been 19, 18, 20, in that area.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, like 11, 12, there was a motel. Like we used to go over there like 13 drunk and walk through the hallway and just eat food off the room service trays. And fucking
just feral New Jersey children, just insane,
absolute garbage with cowlicks and a twitch. And
by the way, Jersey leftover room service. Is it's not fresh. You don't want to eat.
Not
that.
Fine dining. No. This was not fine dining.
Yeah. Damn. Would you have a pack of like Your parents were working too much, or they didn't? They were just kind of checked out, or what?
No, my dad would work. My mom was a stay-at-home mom, but I would just go out. And again, you weren't monitored as closely in the fucking 80s.
Yeah.
And they had magazines. They had a magazine rack there with every month they had Penthouse, Playboy, and Wee magazine.
Wee.
So I would go there with a screwdriver.
Okay.
And fucking put the screwdriver on and jimmy the magazines out, and I would steal the magazine. That motel really took care of some of my most basic needs.
It's so funny because I feel like people stopped monitoring their kid or started monitoring their kids. I mean, I feel like the millennial age that we grew up in I was born in the late 80s.
Yeah.
So it's like depending on where you grew up, you did have I had a bit of a throwback childhood where it's like my parents kind of let us go. I didn't have a phone. We didn't have internet for a while, but other people my age totally had all that stuff. But I think the big thing was people were scared of like sex crimes, molestation, all that stuff. And you truly were pretty much just trying to get molested. Dude, you were trying to get sex trafficked in everything you did.
I literally stood in the shoulder of the highway with my asshole open, waving. No takers.
That's fucking wild. And what are your friends like? Did you have a pack of sexual deviants?
We were all, I don't know how we connected. This is back in Edison. And there were girls too, but they were less deviant at that, and they were also scarier.
Right.
I didn't know what the parts were. Yeah. But no, me and a bunch of my buddies. But also when one guy found out, I got called a faggot a lot as a kid. And that label sticks. I'm telling you, like kids don't forget anything. But I used to. Thank God we moved out of that neighborhood. That was getting bad, and I was getting chased, and that was rough.
That's wild, dude. And I mean, what's the origin story? No one sucked you off.
If
you really were a prodigy,
I just really, it was like, why did Bobby Fischer play chess? I don't know.
Because everything you're describing, I'm like, oh, this is the most molested baby of all time.
Dude, and plus, if you look pictures of me, you're like, I would absolutely fuck that kid. I was a fuckable boy. But no, I didn't. As far as I know, if I was, it was so traumatic that the slate has been wiped clean.
Yep, and I know what I'm putting my money on. Exactly that.
It was something barbaric. But I don't know what it was. I know my therapist is always like, you were abused. I'm like, I don't feel like I was. I feel like I showed up. I
think that because my parents were cool, whatever, they really didn't want me to sleep over. And I kind of think sometimes, like, did something so horrible happen to me that, like, they were scared, that, like, when I don't remember? But I just don't know. They were like, they would get really freaked out if I was, or unattended, or whatever the fuck, where it's like, I don't know. It's just like, I don't think anything like that. And I never blew my friends. Eldest can attest. We grew up together. I never sucked this disgusting Albanian dick. But, sometimes I wonder, like, or maybe something happened to them. Maybe my dad maybe weirdly got molested Greece in the 60s. Yeah. You could have gotten away with anything. Sure. You could have really molested in a third world country post World War II.
Yeah, thick fingers that smell like olives. Put it through this little hiney.
Yeah, the coarse pubes around your ass are actually an evolutionary trait to keep you from getting finger fucked on an olive grove. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's wild, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So you were just there was no, you were just, this was the life forever.
Off to the races. Yes, my first love. And it's so funny now, I'm 55. And obviously I'm married, so I really don't cheat on my wife. It's bizarre to say that, but it's like you run out your addiction. It's like you can only for so long before you're like, what am I going to die alone?
I get that too. I mean, I see that too. With I opened for Bobby for years, and I was a fan of both of you guys.
Thank you.
When I was when I was getting into, I feel bad telling people when I was a kid because I also look I look worse than my age. So when you see a guy looks like me, like, dude, when I was 12, I loved you, Jim, and you're like, Jesus Christ, how old am I? But I really did. But it struck me of because getting to know you guys now, like Bobby, I probably 10 years ago, whatever, he really was running off fumes of. I mean, Bobby also castrated himself by getting so fat. He had no sexual desires.
You can't fuck if you can't find it.
Yeah. But when I met him, he was so much less of a and I think now he's the chillest dad of all time. Like
Yeah.
he really is just. You would never guess the weird shit Bobby did from like his suburban life and his like kid and all this shit. But
Yeah.
and it's like and it's funny to see that with you too, because I feel like that's a relatively recent development where it's like, you know, and now look, you married a trans woman half your age.
Yes.
So it's not really, that is the like deviance way of settling down. It's not like,
it's the best I could do, man. It's the closest I could come.
It's not exactly like, you know, the all-American traditional story, but it is, in a weird way, your dynamics are, which is so funny. It just shows you like, damn, everyone does just want the same stuff. Even if you're some weird kid trying to get sucked off by a man at 9, you end up, and eventually you want to be a husband that like comes home to dinner, somebody that loves him, and you know,
you really, and it's like we get I've dated people are like, oh, she's younger than you. I dated age, quote unquote, age appropriate. It was a woman who's probably 50 now or 48 now.
Yeah.
And the reason we stopped dating is because she wanted kids quickly. Like I'm wasting this. We dated years ago. She was in her 30s.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm wasting her time. Like I don't want kids. Like Nikki, I just get along with. Like we're like I have fun with her. Like legit fun with her, not just like, oh, she's my wife and I gotta fucking hang out. Like I really like doing shit with her. I wouldn't do it if I didn't like it.
Yeah. And there is something wholesome to that of just like, we're just, you know, this is what stops you from, or not even stops you. You were kind of done with. I was done doing that kind of, because it also feels a little, you know. I wonder, have you ever not been able to get hard with a prostitute?
I haven't been able to not get hard on Viagra with any. Are you kidding? There's times where my dick just decided it's not happening. Like, forget it.
That's gotta feel bad to like also be out however much money and the hassle. Like I can't imagine not nutting in a situation like that in some weird house in like, you know, wherever in Harlem. Wherever
I would jerk off anyway, and it would be limp, and it was really it looked like one of those things outside a gas station to let you know. You're like one of those fucking weird Gumbies that bends outside a tire shop. Yeah. I've done enough of that, and you really it's humiliating. It's humiliating when you can't get but you know what? I never realized, like there'd be times I'd be on dates and I was with the girl and I really liked her. And I couldn't get hard, but I was like, I don't want sex. Like, I just like this girl. But I didn't think you were allowed to like somebody. Right. It was like, I'm a guy. I got to want to fuck. And then I embarrassed myself by not being able to get hard.
Right. Oh, damn, yeah. No, hey, listen. We're no secret. We're no stranger to that here at Stavvy's World.
Oh, good. I feel comfortable here.
That's a well-known phenomenon here. I feel like my dick does. One time, a girl... I actually really, to me, it actually happens when I like the woman.
Yes.
The first time we hook up, I cannot get hard, and I'm all up in my head, whatever. Yeah. And this is how good of a person she was. She thought my dick was hard when it wasn't. And by the way, my dick is small. So it's like my dick not hard is truly horrific stuff. And she the second time we hooked up, or maybe it was even the third, because I actually really liked her, we ended up dating for a little bit. The third, when my dick actually got hard, she was like, oh my God, I thought you had a micro penis. And I was like, and you came back?
What a good girl.
Good person. I'm a piece of shit. I let her slip through my fingers. Hope she's doing well these days. But dude.
It's humiliating, but you don't know. I'm like, why is this happening? Like maybe I'm so weird. Like I want a prostitute to tell me she loves me, and a girl I love, I want her to go, I need a bigger cock than yours, you fucking piece of shit. It's bizarre.
That's fucking awesome. Were you like trying to settle down for a little bit? Like had it been a while since you were like, I'm done with this?
So many.
Gave it. Oh really? So like the last, what were we talking? Like the last?
I mean, last decade.
10 years?
Yeah, maybe more. I think I've always been looking for that. Like I fell in love a lot. There's a lot of girls I would see regularly, even for money, and I would catch such feelings and like. I really just liked them, and I was just that's where I would look because I felt comfortable.
Sure. I get that.
For a decade, I would say at least I was looking for somebody who I thought.
I think that's totally fine. I mean, like, I'll go to a coffee shop where the lady who makes my lattes cute. Yeah. And I'm like, wow, I think I have a little crush on her. Now, imagine I paid her to suck me off 10 times. Yeah. And I'd be like, you know what? This girl's really cool. You know, like, that makes I can't believe it doesn't happen more that people don't catch actual. I guess it does. And I guess that's why it's such a dangerous, because you have, you know, like, sex workers, it's like, it's pretty high murder rate, and it's probably because guys who aren't, you know, just like because if a guy catches feelings, then he's like, well, but I can't have you. I guess it does happen. Is what I'm saying.
I think even strip club. I think strip clubs like that's how they stay in business is by guys. Who I remember one time I was in a strip club and I never was a big fan of them because I just know like I can't come here. I'm not gonna say.
Yeah. No one's got a cock.
Well, no, I went into one of those ones in New Orleans, and I expected better customer service on Bourbon Street at 2 a.m. And I walk in. I guess they were ready to close. I was just curious, wanted to look around.
Yeah.
And I think I was doing a college with Pete Corielli and Louis Ramey. This is probably 22 years ago.
Yeah.
And I walk in and it was late, and she goes, "Hey, baby," and I'm like. Oh, she grabbed me by the arm, and I'm like, I'm just going to look for a minute. And she went, all right. And she turned me around, walked me right back out the door. Threw me the fuck out. I got thrown out. So I've only gone to a couple of those.
Yeah.
Unless I left my wallet in one. I talked about it on Fallon.
Yeah.
Which is not a surprise that I'm not invited to the Tonight Show now that he's running things.
Let's have Jim back.
Yeah.
Maybe he got fisted once. Maybe he got fisted in Shreveport, and he can talk to us about it.
Oh, I left my wallet in the fucking in one of these trans clubs. Yeah. But they were honest. I got it back.
Wow.
I went back and got my wallet back.
Shout out to those gals.
All worked out well.
Yeah.
So, it's, but I don't miss it. Like, I like being, once in a while you miss the idea of it, but like, hey, again, I'm fucking old, man. I like where I'm at in life. It's nice.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm friends with most of my exes.
That's cute.
Yeah, I get along with them. It's bizarre.
Nice. Yeah.
Except for one who I think is just embarrassed that I'm her ex.
Yeah.
She's embarrassed.
Oh, I know about that too, my friend. There's a couple that are just like, come on.
Yeah.
Why is he doing well?
Yeah.
I don't want people to know. I don't want, because it is a hilarious, like if you dated somebody who like, even like, we're doing fine, but it's like not like we're famous. But if you dated like if you dated like a minorly famous actor and you're watching a movie, you're like, in college, I sucked that guy's cock.
Yeah.
That's fun. But if you just see you or me pop up on screen and they're like, yep, I fucked that guy. People are like, Jesus Christ, really? What
he's ugly.
The guy doing the bit about his dick doesn't work. That's the guy.
And it's believable.
Yeah. And it's not working because it's not even that like much of an exaggeration. We're all just sad for him.
No one is proud to admit it. And plus, there's so many embarrassing things I've done. Like my mother-in-law. It's so weird to say that. But when I first met her, she was like, she doesn't think I'm funny at all because she was Googling. She found Chip. And she's like, what is he doing? It's not funny. Like the mother didn't get
Such a specific context.
They're from another country. And she's like, this guy's a fucking bum that you're with. So I'm ashamed of my whole professional life.
Other country, and then basically your age, I'm guessing.
The mother?
Yeah.
She will be soon.
Yeah. That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
To be like, yep, this is my American Prince Charming. This is it.
I love her dad. We just talk about old Kiss. It's the fucking best. She hates my fucking music, but her dad's like, Destroyer, what a great album.
Wow. That's the life hack. I like it too because you cancel out the problematic, like, the age gap discourse is canceled out by like, but she's trans, and people are like, is he good or bad?
Oh, yeah, people are like, they don't like this scolding culture. They're like, he's older. It's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like we get along better than I've ever gotten along with anybody. It just works.
Yeah.
Like you don't plan it. It just fucking. I wouldn't have married somebody unless I was compatible.
Totally.
But I really like it. I like being married. I can't fucking believe I.
And you guys have a YouTube channel?
Yeah,
right?
We started, and it's like we started talking about podcasting and stuff. Like I have footage of us from back in 2019 in Canada in the pandemic. In 2020 in Canada in the pandemic. We were just trying stuff, and I like shooting shit with her.
How did you get into the Canada? Horrible to get, like so hard to get into during the pandemic.
Impossible.
You're like, I gotta go shoot content.
Yeah,
like I gotta go to Niagara Falls with my wife.
Dude, she couldn't get into the States. She was like, she was on like a fiance wait. And it was like a
90-day
long wait.
Fiance.
It was exactly like that. Yeah. I used to watch that show and cry. I really should be executed. Yeah. You found the right one. Fucking asshole. And I would fucking Travis, our producer on Jim and Sam.
Yeah.
Called me because they were like, remember in the pandemic when it first happened, Sirius, like, you guys can't come in. Like, you guys got to stay home.
Right.
So we were like broadcasting from our houses.
Yeah.
Travis called me on a Wednesday. He goes, hey, man, they're going to close I was driving up every weekend to see Nikki. And he goes, they're going to close the Canadian border. So I was in the car in an hour. and I drove up to Canada, and they let me in. It was like a day before the border closed.
Holy shit.
March of 2020, and I fucking came back July 1st, 2021.
Wow, holy shit, you were in Canada the whole time?
15 months.
Wow,
I didn't say, and people are like, why didn't you tell people you were in the fucking Canada? I lied about it because I knew that if she didn't get in the country, I didn't know what was going to happen.
Right.
I didn't want to be talking about it every day. Like
course,
every time I was angry at immigration, I didn't want to be on the air going, fuck those guys.
Yeah.
I'm like, just shut it off and then talk about it someday.
Totally.
But I would have went crazy.
And it was also very difficult for immigration. Like during the Trump administration, one thing that did happen was they did make it harder for immigrants to get in.
But if you're a woman with a dick, he made it delightfully easy.
So it was just the pandemic that tripped you up?
Honestly, yeah. You
That's
never
crazy.
know. You never know what agent. Plus, you had like.
Yeah, I guess it is like
It's up to the agent. Yeah, she had like a little pot thing. It was a ticket. It was very minor, but that just slowed us up. It was you had to get a waiver for it.
Yeah.
But she was eligible and she got it. But it's just the U.S. government and it's fucking slow.
Yeah.
And shit rolls downhill.
No,
So,
I had a friend. Yeah, I mean, that's you got to be the number. There's, I guess she's from like a European
Norway. Yeah.
Norway. That all it doesn't quite cancel out trans, but it's like for the Trump administration, Aryan.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
yes.
It's like they're super white people. But because I had friends who were dealing with like, it was literally like South America, forget it, Australia. We'll see what we can do.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It was like a little. They were playing a little ball. So that's it. Yeah, but I gotta imagine trans woman not the highest on there.
No, not at all.
Who are we getting in the country?
No,
yeah.
It was again just a long haul. For everybody, it just sucked.
Yeah,
it's the government. They're fucking slow.
Yeah.
Everything's done through the mail. Like it's such a nightmare. The worst.
That's fucking awesome. Mail. That is the funniest thing. I have to get my trans wife over here. Science. She's more scientific than the way you do business. Like her existence, like mail predates her existence. Like they're still doing business in a way that's being fucking insane. That's so fucking funny.
Yeah, but it didn't. I don't think we didn't harp on it. Like it was just. Of course, it's in there, but like. Yeah. I don't think it fucked us up. Like it was just slower, and we had to go for you have to just to go to the embassy. It's a fucking night. Yeah. So I empathize with people coming over. Like I have very mixed feelings. It's like, hey, it took us 5 years. So fuck you coming here illegally. And it was like, I get it too.
Yeah, totally.
Like it's a fucking nightmare.
If it was easier, I had a friend who was the same thing where I was like, just tell her to come over and get married when she's here. You know what I mean? It's like, but then you never know. You want to do things by the book.
And they fuck you up like that. I think like they were trying this thing. I think Joe Bolton, his name was. And where
it's actually Joe Biden. No.
Oh. Yeah. I'm thinking of Joe Bolster, the comic. I forget what he did, but he made it harder. So if you came over and just got married, they would say that you lied about why you were here.
Gotcha.
There's a whole. Plus, you couldn't get anyone to visit. It was just a whole thing.
Yeah, no, that's fucking. Yeah, that's horrible.
But I had never lived with a woman either. Never. And all of a sudden,
never. Even like when you were in like long-term relationships.
Not even for a fucking minute.
Wow.
And now I'm in a pandemic in a 1-bedroom in another country. It was fucking crazy.
That's crazy.
It was insane how that happened.
That is a real make or break moment, though, right?
Yeah.
It's like a lot of relationships either completely cratered or they once they survive, you're like, all right, we're good.
Dude, this is going to be easy because I couldn't just threaten to leave. I couldn't just, I'm like, I'm going to go for a ride, cunt. And I would just go for a ride and come back. Like, I never threatened to walk out because what am I going to do, leave the country?
Yeah. You'll be in jail. The Mounties will get you.
Yeah, I wouldn't have got back in. Yeah. But it was fun. It was like, it was an interesting thing to be stuck in the house with somebody at 8 o'clock because they were worse up there than we were here. They were fucking panicky.
Yeah. No, I remember I did a gig in Toronto the week before my brother's wedding. And so, and I was just on tour. I wasn't thinking much of it. I was like, that's just whatever. And I had a blast in Toronto. It was a great, I got there a little early. I was like, I'm going to have fun. There's a nice international city. I was getting my dick sucked quite a bit. It was
nice.
It was great, I'm going out. I'm getting fucked up. And this is the part of the tour where I was still like excited. It was like, fresh from the pandemic. It's like when we're first starting a tour after the pandemic. Yeah. So it was like, I guess it was 21. It was like spring of 21. And and I'm starting to feel like it's the day I'm supposed to fly. And I start to feel like a little sick, right? And I'm like, oh fuck, like this sucks. Like, what if I have it? Whatever. And I'm like, I don't have it. I'm just fucking hungover. I'm fat as shit. I have a dick pill headache. All this. That's what's going on. You know, like I'm fine. I take a test. It comes back inconclusive. So now I'm like, fuck. What if I have it? And I check Toronto's like thing. They make you do a test at the airport. Yeah. And if you get test positive, you have to quarantine for 10 days in a hotel room in Canada. You cannot go.
They won't send you home.
Happened to Soder, actually. He tested positive on his way back from a gig, had to be there for 10 days. I would have missed my brother's wedding. I'm the best man. Yeah. All this shit. So but if you drove, you don't have to take a test.
It's the plane, yeah.
So because of Canada, and I'm also fucking completely fucked up off edibles. That's another thing. I took what I thought was a 10 milligram was 100 milligram.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought that was Cialis.
Yeah. And so I'm with a girl who is like, she's in an open relationship. That was always I found that a nice loophole.
Yeah.
Because it's like you get to be friends with someone, you have like, a relationship, whatever. But, at the end of the day, no pressure and you get the fuck, it's cool. And I'm just like, hey, can you? And she's like, she doesn't have a license, whatever. So I literally convinced this woman, she's an angel, calls a friend, guy I don't know at all. And she's like, hey, can you drive this guy that I hook up with across the American border who might have COVID because his brother is getting married? Turns out I had strep throat. That's what it was.
Better, yeah.
And then it starts fucking snowing. And then, by the way, the edible, it was the night before. And then I don't know if this happens to anybody else. Once I eat something, it comes back. Like I get like flash, I don't know what it is. I get whatever. So she's setting this whole thing up. And then I start getting high and I start getting paranoid. And I'm like, well, what if they ask me how I know this guy? Like, can you please come? So now I make this woman, because I'm scared, come to Buffalo with me and this guy. She calls her fiance and is like, hey, that guy I fuck, I'm not leaving the country. He's scared and high and he begged me to ferry him across the border. So we get to the fucking like immigration crossing and he's like, the guy's like, what do you have in the suitcase? And I was like, just regular stuff. And he's like, what? He's like, what do you mean? I was like, clothes and stuff like that. And then he's like, how do you know these people? I was like, well, she goes to school with him and we met online. And then she's like, we're friends. Like, that's how I was about to blow it. I'm high as shit. And then the guy fucking just lets me through. I go to the Buffalo ticket counter. I go to JetBlue and I buy a ticket like it's the 40s. I'm like, one ticket to New York, please. Literally like $300 in cash because I had to get rid of some cash. It was fucking crazy. I just gave this guy however much Canadian, but they were fucking real strict about it. And that was one of the most nerve-wracking experiences. Just minorly like skirting Canadian COVID laws. I can't imagine sort of semi-illegally being trapped there. Like
I was applying, I was updating everything and doing all the paperwork. But if there was like one point like where if you were doing certain things outdoors, it was like a $6,000 fine. If you were gathered a couple of people, Montreal was really fucking strict. I mean, it was fucking miserable. It was miserable. I didn't jerk off once in 15 months.
Wow.
It's insane. And the minute I got home, I went fucking crazy. I think I jerked off through the checkpoint. The second I was back in the U.S., I saw Old Glory.
They're like, no old American cum. It might carry COVID. Damn, that's fucking wild.
Yeah, it was nice to be there, but I was just kind of fucking and I didn't do stand up for over a year. Like it was it was fucking crazy. I don't know how guys did it online. I couldn't do it online.
Couldn't do it. I didn't do a single one. I did this. I honestly feel a little better about it because I'm just like, up until that I had this real maniacal like. If I take 2 days off, I suck dick at stand up. Yeah. So it kind of was free. That was the one silver lining where it's like now I'm like, oh, actually I think it made me in some ways better because I got a little you get away from your material. You don't live it every fucking day. You get a little context. So I like it. I'm gonna take a little just break because I don't feel like doing stand up. But it was weird. There was definitely that moment where you're like, damn, will I ever be good at this again? You know?
But the problem is I took the break too, like, just, hey, I'll get some, like a little life experience, but then the second I come back, no one wants to hear about that life experience. So, the pandemic's over. Fuck, we're done with it.
Oh, my God. There was nothing worse. And the thing is, audiences were so hungry when you got back that you thought those were good jokes because they're crushing. And then like the second that sheen of like, we're, you know, the like, oh, we were trapped inside. As the second those audiences got back to normal, jokes, like there's nothing worse than a guy doing still to this day his pandemic observations, and you know it's out there.
Yeah,
you see those guys who are like trying to update it. They're like, yeah, did you see they're trying to make us get vaccinated again? And they're like, when the first time I actually got Johnson & Johnson, boy, that one was pretty shitty, huh?
They're bringing it back.
Yeah.
Shelter in place. That is the worst about topical shit. It's like when it starts to come back around, how somebody's like, here's a great chance to make it fresh again. And it's not.
Michael Jackson died 10 years ago today. Remember when he dangled that baby out of the window?
That's the nicest thing you did to a kid.
Yeah. I fucking love it, dude. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, congrats to you for living the domesticated life these days.
It is the domesticated life. I live the life of a gentleman.
Yeah, no strange.
And I really love it. It's fucking
awesome.
Great. Like, I can't believe I never thought I would like it.
Yeah.
I was like, never. I'm never getting fucking married. But, you know.
Yeah, that's nice. I mean, because I got to imagine like food addiction on the road is pretty, I mean, all of them are bad.
Yeah.
But sex also, it's like that could probably put you in some fucking strange situations in fucked up towns.
And a lot of it's just time wasted. Like it's just sex and food are kind of similar, where it's like a dopamine. Like you can't not do it. You have to you have to be a little sexual in life. You have to eat.
Yeah. True.
So a lot of times I wouldn't even see anybody. I would just edge online and hours wasted.
Yeah.
You know, that's fucking like, it's like I'm on a coke bender. I'm done. I'm hungry. Like as soon as I come, I order food. Like it's awful, man.
I opened for you so far. This was like Magooby's like probably a decade ago, right?
Yeah.
I was hosting. I wasn't even featuring. And you were Kenny, Club Soda Kenny was with you. Did you do that as like a save me from myself, like have a chaperone type thing, or was it literally security, have a friend, road manager?
He was a road manager, and I don't need security because of there's fans are beating the door down. But you get enough threats after a while.
Yeah. I mean, I know about because like just opening for you that because I was a huge, the radio show. I mean, big Opie and Anthony fan. Like I knew all you guys. It was awesome. But I had never experienced, and I was so pumped. I was like, this is going to be cool. I was a huge fan of yours. And then I was like, oh, I wonder what those crowds will be like. It'll be cool. And it was. A lot of them were great. And then and then you would see like 8 guys who are wearing the virus shirt.
Yeah.
Who have, just like, did not smile once during my set, the feature set, or your set. And then dead-eyed afterwards, just like came up to you like, you're a genius, Jim. Will you? And they like asked you to sign shit, and it was like I can imagine that fan base because it does feel like part of it kind of mutated into the Cumtown fan base.
Yeah,
I do feel like we got a little bit of that. Most of these people are awesome, and then like 1% are freaks that should be taken to a sanitarium.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
It's like Michael Myers level autism.
Yeah.
Just fucking.
Yeah.
I enjoyed you.
Yeah. And see, back when you had those guys. Luckily, when they were in my fan base, they had found anime.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of those guys were, jacking off to that.
Yeah.
But all they had was Opie and Anthony in your days.
Yeah.
Like there was no straight from, no Japanese subtitled shit to get.
No,
fresh.
it was O&A and fucking
maybe trains.
Trains and O&A.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a Lionel train or the virus tour. It was so crazy. Like those fans are but when they hate you, they hate you.
Right.
Some of them are still there and some have turned. I don't care.
Yeah,
It was a lot of fun, man. It was a lot of fucking laughs for 10 years.
I mean, truly did come all of podcasting. That's the seed in a lot of ways. Like just that vibe of everybody hanging out.
Yeah.
That was the first place you really got it. I mean, at least on the East Coast, I know maybe people on the West Coast will say there was other versions of it, but it's but that was it because it was like, everybody, and nobody was doing as good as they should have. I feel like comedians, you guys really had the fucking cloth. Like right now, it's like hilarious the tickets we're selling, and I don't understand what's happening.
I'm not experiencing that stuff.
Well,
I am from the other side.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, but I just feel like everybody on that show was so fucking funny, and like and then earned like you finally had a platform to like show how funny you were, where it's like everyone was kind of hungry and you guys were all friends for so long.
Yeah.
It was just so rich for like hilarious shit to come out of it, because there was like real friendship there, and plus it was like the funniest guys who were like, and I feel like from being funny on that show, it was like tickets started moving, all that kind of stuff. But it was cool. It was just great, and it's still. Some YouTube compilations, you'll still fire those up. Those are still fucking hilarious.
I listened to, and plus it was nothing. We had it was 5 hours a day.
Damn.
So at one point, like 4 hours a day, and then it was 6 to 11 at one point, and it was. I mean, and you had so many funny people coming through it that hang for hours. It was So you had a long. There was a lot of meandering too, and a lot of shows sucked, and a lot of bad days. But there was so much fucking. There was so a lack of pressure because it was just a long conversation.
Yeah.
And Howard had comics on, but he was more the interviewer. It was just a different.
It was a different vibe.
A different vibe than Opie and Anthony.
A great interviewer. I mean, one of the best. I mean, you'll listen to like I'm a big fresh air guy to this. Like, I just love an interview with like that gets in depth, and you'll hear like NPR like uptight interviewers be like, still listen to Howard Stern. He's great at interviewing. But it was a completely different thing. No, that's fucking awesome, dude.
And it was fun. I mean, I laughed harder. I still listen to like the Anthony Makes Jim Laughs. I can't listen to any of the old shit. It makes me sad because I remember it. Like I can't listen to Patrice's shit.
I get that. Yeah.
But I listen to those fucking Anthony Makes Jim Norton Laughs. Dude, every time it makes me laugh because it's Anthony being funny.
No, I know. I'll on YouTube, it'll be like a Come Town clip will come up, and Nick will be saying something, doing some bit, and I laugh and my laugh matches up with the laugh that I'm listening, and I'll just be like, completely forgot, because I don't know about you, it's like you forget
every bit.
Yeah, I've forgotten everything. We talked for I mean, we only did fucking 2 hours a week, and it felt like. I don't know how the fuck you motherfuckers did, 4 hours a day, but even that, it's like I forgot. So it is funny how you're like, oh yeah, I find this exactly as funny as I did 5 years ago.
And it's not the pressure of hating myself.
Right.
Like, people are like, do you remember when you said that? No.
Yeah,
I truly don't. I don't remember that day. I don't remember that segment.
Yeah.
I will listen to stuff of Anthony being really funny, or if Patrice is on with me. There's been times where like there will be a bit where Anthony's doing something, Patrice was there. It's not like I just shut it off,
of course,
but I can't go down. It's just like
I get that you don't want to look up your tragically passed early friend.
You find it depressing and it overrides the. But there's always laughs there. Even when I go back and listen, I'm like, yeah, this was a funny fucking show.
Yeah,
and I feel like like I'm glad I was a part of that. Like I'm lucky to have been with those guys who let comedians shine. And we brought a lot of fucking comics in, and they were funny. I mean,
it's cool to be a part of something so so influential. And it's like Come Town wasn't anything like we didn't influence fucking all of podcasts or whatever. But it's like that's how I feel about the show. Where
you guys change it with Patreon though. You guys with Patreon, you were the bar. Everyone said Come Town. Those guys with Patreon.
Shout out to fucking. To Chapo Trap House, our friends who did a political podcast, also a comedy. They're very funny guys, but if it wasn't for those guys, Nick was roommates with them. They were doing Patreon, and we were like, all right. I was like, yeah, whatever. I mean, I thought it was going to fail from the jump. You know what I mean? I never thought. I was like, remember when it felt like podcasts were over after it was like, well, Marin did it, but nobody else. Yeah. And then it turns out, boy, was everybody well, I guess I was wrong, but yeah. But it's still, I'll be like, yeah, we made some fucking hilarious. It's fun to be like, we had some bangers on there. We had some real good ones. So no, but you don't think so? Why not adopt a fat black child? Maybe name it Patrice Jr. You know what I mean?
Because it wouldn't be funny, and I would hate it. Or it would be like him, and I'd hate it more.
Yeah. Do a little seance. Get his spirit back in a fat girl's body.
Patricia.
I love it. Well, listen. Clearly, Jim is an expert on what I hope you've prepared some questions that Jim can weigh in on, some sex addicts, some whatever. We take some calls from our audience.
Now, are these people who are listening?
No. This is just
random
voicemail.
Call?
Yeah.
Voicemails.
Yeah. We do live calls later, but it's too.
Okay.
But you can't overrun an Albanian with too much to do at once. If we had to get these people live, forget it. Nothing would ever happen.
It's a tall order. It's a tall order.
Go ahead, Elders. Play us our first call. Oh, and let's plug. You got the tour coming up.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Before we get into that, give us the tour. Give people where they can find it.
My tour picture stinks. I look terrible. It's an awful. I need a new photo. I'm losing weight. I look disgusting.
We didn't even get into your body dysmorphia. Actually, I would have loved to.
It's not body dysmorphia. It's 20/20 vision. Trust me, I look like shit. But I look. The tour is called Now You Know. It starts. I got a bunch of dates in California, Texas, everywhere.
Love it.
And Nikki and Jim NYC on YouTube. I hope people look. When I do it, my wife is not cute. Like, it really is how we are. It's not like we're not trying to fucking pass a message.
Right.
All we want to do is just basically indoctrinate children. That's all we want to do. Turn it off.
Yeah. Jim actually will be touring middle schools across America and seeing the boys with fine bone structure, and he'll be chopping them off.
Well, hello, little Marky. You need bosoms. No, there's zero messaging. I think people who like it really like it. So I hope they think it's funny and entertaining.
Yeah.
But
it's got to be interesting. We'll get to the calls too, but it's like it is. I do feel like it almost is bordering on hack now. How many people feel the need to have a take on trans stuff in comedy? Where it's like, this is so interesting because it's like you're just living your life as a regular couple, and it is actual like the honesty of it. It's like, it's just refreshing because I do feel, I don't know what the fuck is going on, where it's just like, not every open micer needs to fucking have an opinion on trans issues. Not every open micer needs to have an opinion on most issues anyway. But there is something that I don't understand why everybody thinks they need to fucking weigh in. It's weird.
I think because it's, first of all, everyone, it's just there and everyone is so talking about it. But it's also the thing that people think there's the high wire risk of, if I say it wrong, I'm dead. And if I say it right, I'm a hero. Right. Whatever that right or wrong is, it's different in every different place.
I guess that's fair, yeah.
But they think that they're going to say something that's, and people have gotten mad at me for shit I've said. It's like, fucking.
Yeah, but it's at least you have, you've, first of all, you've gone into credit card debt all over the trans issue.
I've sacrificed my tonsils for this joke.
But you have real life experience. It's just interesting. Whereas like everybody else is like, oh, let's do some watered down version of a joke that already wasn't funny that they're stealing or whatever. But
and I don't want to fucking preach it. It's not about that at all.
That's why I think it's so interesting. Is because that is the opposite of who you are as a comic. You really are just like, like, just say whatever you do. You clearly are a free speech absolutist for sure, but that's not like that. You're not a message guy. You're just like, you should just be able to say whatever the fuck you want. And so that's why I think it's extra interesting. No one's accusing you of doing it for clout or anything like that. This is just really your life.
No, I hate to break it to people, but when you're 55, the key to success in showbiz is not, hey, my wife has a dick. Oh my God, sign this kid. But people have said that to me too. People who don't know what they're talking about are like, dude, your career. I'm like, you have no fucking idea how this is not going to help anything.
Jim's in a Marvel movie next week. Actually, your character from Spider-Man, we're doing a whole reboot around him. The guy on the train. That guy, let's bring him back. He gets powers. Oh, I just made a sale. Oh. I just made a sale. Thanks to Shopify. I love Shopify. A beautiful platform to sell your stuff on. When I started podcasting, doing stand-up, I had no idea we got a thriving, beautiful merch store. We got seasonal items on there. We're doing sales. We got a whole thing going on. I used to just sell T-shirts out of my 1994 Honda Civic, which I called Fredo, because like Fredo from the Godfather series, it was unreliable and it tried to betray me. It would break down constantly. That's what I used to sell all my merch out of. Thank God that I started using Shopify probably about 5 years ago, 5, 6, 7 years ago. It was beautiful to work with them at the early stages when I wasn't moving that much merch. We weren't moving that many calendars, to this year where we sold a nice amount of calendars. Thank you. And thank you to Shopify for making that process so easy. I used to literally hand write labels and shit like that. That's where we were when we started working with Shopify. Now we got a whole operation. We got our friend and he employs his children, but he pays them a fair wage. Whatever. We're still growing, and that's the beauty of Shopify. They've seen us from the very beginning. Slowly, we've been building it up, and hopefully, Stavvy Baby Shop is going to be StavvyBaby.com/merch is going to be a global, what is it? Stavvy.biz.
Shop.stavvy.biz.
Shop.stavvy.biz. We've never had StavvyBaby.com. God, I'm dumb. So anyway, look, I love Shopify. They've been there for, this is how dumb I am. And thanks to Shopify's help, I have actually been able to grow a nice merch business that helps us out a lot. You don't buy shirts, Eldest doesn't get paid. I don't know if you know that. It's tied directly, the sales we make. He makes about 0.2 cents per piece of merchandise, getting him up to about $14,000 a year right now. Shopify's incredible. If you have anything you want to sell, no matter what, you're a candle guy, you're a candle girl. Eldest was going to make candles. Eldest was going to sell soaps at one point. Remember that? He was going to make soaps and put them on Etsy.
Hey, that idea isn't fully put to bed yet. Well, listen,
if you do it, Eldest, use Shopify. And here's how you're going to do it. Just like our friends, sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Stavvy, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Stavvy now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/Stavvy, Stavvy. There it is, the sale. Just right on time, folks. Sorry, Jim. All right, Eldest. There we go, buddy boy. Hit us with our first question.
Hey, Stav. Hey, Eldest. Hey, guys. Big fan of
Not
y'all.
playing dickhead.
It's going through headphones.
Hey, Eldest.
No.
Hey, guys. Big fan of y'all. Been listening to y'all since episode 1 and really
Thanks, buddy.
appreciate what you guys have done. Really been helpful for me and my mental health. Maybe for therapy, maybe more comfortable about a lot of different things. But this is a much more lighthearted question to ask you guys. So I've been married to my wife for about a decade now. She has 2 kids. And each time she goes through birth and breastfeeding, she goes from a B to an S cup. So it's an abnormal large transition of breast growth. They just blow up to some massive size, and they're fucking perfect.
Yeah.
And I'm fortunate and blessed to have this, and I'm kind of not trying to sit here and be it's fucking gloating. I am going to gloat. This is fucking incredible, and I'm happy to have it.
Nice,
but also, so at the end, when they go back to normal size, and she stops feeding our kids through the breast. Kid 2 is about 1.5 now, about to stop, and she's talking about stopping. So a thing I wanted to ask you guys is, I know this is basically done. I know that I have embraced the large-breasted part of my wife for the last time, probably pretty soon. And also, I'm asking you guys, how do I convince her to get a breast implant? Not huge for what they are now, but just a little, push up. Pay a pulse.
This is fucking awesome.
It's been awesome, and I'm very happy. I'm not trying to do anything stupid, but also I don't want to let a good thing end. And also, I could have another kid, but fuck that. I don't want another kid. So anything you could offer would be appreciated. Love you guys.
So awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
How do I trick my wife into getting bigger tits? Because while she's literally feeding our children with her body, her tits make my dick harder.
By the way, that guy talked with the cadence of somebody calling 911 for killing his family. She's laying in the kitchen. I hit her with a bat, and then I shot my children.
He really has bated breath. He's catching his breath from stabbing a child. Damn, buddy. I don't know how old. There's something romantic. I've always said I just want to find the right girl to buy a new pair of titties for. That's kind of what I'm looking for in life.
I lucked out.
You absolutely. What if she came in one day and she was like, I think I'm going to chop my dick off? What would you do then, Jim?
I'd go to the airport and say, God bless. It's been nice. It's been real. It's been nice, but it hasn't been real nice. Fuck that.
I know. I heard. I was listening to the podcast you guys did with Whitney, and you were like, whatever she wants to do with her body,
Sure.
and then I'm just thinking about you just sweating the day she says she wants to chop her dick off, and you're like, fuck, she called my bluff.
Yeah, no. Well, I'll tell you one thing about her. She doesn't.
You really have met your match.
Oh, my God, yeah.
You really have met your dream girl.
I really have.
Yeah.
I mean, I lucked out.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
So, yeah, look, buddy, I think you just gotta ride this out. I mean, if you really want to do it slowly over time, kind of gaslight her, make her feel bad. Don't be like, wow, your friends were saying some really mean stuff about your tits the other day, or not even her friends, but like, you know what? I just had to go give that lady a talking to over at Planet Fitness. When we were walking out, she talked about how disgusting your tits were, and I just can't have someone talking about my wife that way.
Yeah, I said, you don't call my wife a pancake-titted idiot.
Now, funny, if this is ever too much for you and you don't want to deal with this the rest of your life, you say the word and I'll tighten my belt and afford breast implants somehow. I'll pick up a couple extra shifts at the plant, whatever it takes to make you feel better about yourself.
But don't slip up. Don't say it like, if you ever don't want to look like a pile of shit, say it diplomatically. Yeah. That's a tough call. How do you tell your wife you want her tits bigger? Yeah. Oh.
Tough.
Yeah, very tough.
Oh, man. Yeah, I think all you can do is hope that, that the messaging in American culture gets to her. How everybody talks about how women's bodies are bad and all that stuff. Hope that she's not in touch with herself and sees through that stuff and is happy with who she is. Hope that, she walks past one too many Maybelline billboards, one too many Victoria's Secret billboards, and that, she wants to, because that's happened before. I know people who have been in relationships whose like wives want to do it themselves, but you can't do it unless you do our patented little breadcrumb method. Yeah. You're just and don't be too happy when she floats the idea either. She's like, I'm thinking about getting breast. Yes! Yeah. You gotta let it, you gotta be like, I just love you for how you are,
Don't act like Ralph Cramden when he hears the will. I'm rich.
Exactly. You gotta slow play it even when she does admit that she wants big titties, big fat titties.
Are you sure if it's what you want? I mean, okay.
And to try and hide your smile. Maybe wear a COVID mask when she tells you. So that she doesn't see you fucking smiling ear to ear.
Yeah, keep a book on your lap. Yeah. See your dick just jump. The prospect of her awful tits finally being humanized. Fucking udders.
Oh, man. That is gotta be... It's also gotta be fun. What you could also do is pretend you don't know why and just be really nice to her while her tits are big. That's another thing. Like, get her flowers, take her out, hire a babysitter to watch the infant and really and then once they go, change your behavior again and let her do the math.
Let her figure it out. Yeah, when I'm breastfeeding, he brings me breakfast in bed. And then when it's done, he's out till 4 a.m. and he makes oinking noises when I walk in the room.
Now, also, isn't there some way, because isn't birth control like tricking your body into thinking you're pregnant? Maybe we got to get her on a specific birth control to get her titties big. I don't know, pal. There's not. You're just in a tough predicament, and just hope she wants big titties someday.
Yeah. Or look at pictures of fucking Jerry Lewis's head when he was on prednisone or whatever it was. And just tell her, if your tits look like that, that'd be a lot nicer to you.
Yeah, put her on some weird steroids for that whatever disease he had.
Yeah, I forget what it was, but he was on a steroid and his head got all fucking fat.
He was huge.
Frog-like.
Yeah, it was crazy. All right, good luck to our friend there. Eldest, what else we got?
Wouldn't you like a follow-up from that guy?
I would. I would like to. Please call in. Let us know if it happened. How little your wife's tits are now. If you have any pictures of them real big, take them. I would also. Okay, one more. This is so funny. This is the question we've attacked from the most angles.
You're teeming with ideas.
People are like, I'm thinking about killing myself. I'm like, hey, buddy, go to therapy. Next question. This guy's, I'm like, how does she react? But how does she, you must comment on her tits. Like, it's not like a woman knows that her body is different. Or she is much more aware of you, of how big her tits are than even you are.
Yeah.
She knows her body. So it's like, how does she react? Does she like having big ass tits? Does she talk about it? You know what I mean? You might have an opening there. Be like, well, if you like them so much, I guess we could get them bigger. Anyway, I'm done. I can't be seen giving this much thought to this question anymore.
You don't want to give away your true intentions. You gotta hide the motive.
Yeah, absolutely.
And does he like the breastfeeding part? That's a fetish for guys.
Yeah.
The mothering, nurturing thing. Like, is it just the big tits, or is it more of what it means?
Maybe you get a little milk in there. People say it's sweet. I haven't tried it. We get it, Jim. You're sort of gay.
No, I'm not complaining about the viscosity of it.
Color and viscosity, you're fine.
Doesn't even hurt your eye when it gets in there. If it's not going to give me pink eye, it's not a real substance. No, I've heard breast milk. We've had guys drink it on the show years ago, and they said it leaves almost a body odor aftertaste.
Oh, interesting.
Somebody said something like it was such a fucking visceral reaction I got from it. Like the aftertaste is supposed to be weird.
Yeah, we've covered breastfeeding on the show. We had Louis Katz on here.
Is he into it?
He has gotten he definitely drank some breast milk, and we discussed whether it was weird. To me, it almost has to be an intimacy that borders on some kind of sexual connection.
Yeah.
Like having a friend's breast milk seems a little weird to me. Anyway, we don't have to check out the Louis Katz app. Now we're citing former podcasts. Check out Katz et al. Stavvy's World.
It's only good to drink a woman's breast milk if you know that you're depriving the child, because it's fun to fuck up that bond.
Right. If you're getting a psychological boost out of it, that's one thing.
They'll never connect now.
I don't even like this. This kid's fucked. This kid will be buying as many prostitutes as I did. Next one, Big Eld.
Hey, Stav. Got a question for you. Love the show. First time calling. So I'm 33. Been married since I was 21, and I'm a wrestling coach. My wife just doesn't put out. I don't know what to do. I've tried everything. I'm like begging for once a month. It's pathetic. So recently I was in a wrestling class and I'm teaching these kids, and afterwards I get a DM from one of their moms, and she basically says, hey, anytime, anywhere, just let me know.
Wow.
And I accepted that invite. And
hell yeah. Pause this. I love when someone calls us like after the crime has been committed. It's like, what do you want me to do now? It's like calling your buddy. It's like, hey man, my car is full of blood. Can you come with some Ajax? It's like, you
guys know Mr. Wolf?
Yeah, exactly, dude. I'm sorry, brother. I ain't Harvey Keitel.
And if I am, it's from the Bad Lieutenant.
Yeah, the part where he's trying to fuck the babysitter.
Show me how you suck a cock. Oh, he came on her door. My hero. Spit your gum out. He was so specific.
Great movie, great film. We should do that for our first Stavvy's World film club episode, Eldis. Anyway, let's finish. Let's see what our friend here has to say.
Is a fucking 10 out of she's so hot. Does everything. Is amazing. I can't even get a fucking blowjob at home, and this woman is willing to do anything. Well, it's been going on for a couple months. I feel terrible.
Yeah, no shit.
I love my wife very much.
Obviously.
I don't know what to do.
That much is
I know
clear.
I gotta end it. I know I gotta do that. I don't want to, because that pussy is so good. I'm just at a loss for words. I don't know what to do. Give me some advice.
You're
Tell me
fucked,
what you
pal.
think. Love you. I'm looking forward to seeing you at one of your shows coming up in Phoenix whenever you're coming through. Have a great New Year.
Not shocked. This is the Phoenix area, by the way. There's a MILF just lurking at wrestling practice.
Well, it's also because he's in Phoenix and he's coaching all day and his balls are probably sweaty and his wife's like, I don't want to go near these things.
Yeah. By the way, here's the thing. Here's what I love about this call. He's tried everything. I wonder if trying everything is also being nice to your wife, doing a couple like. What do you mean you've tried everything? Like you got her a present? Like truly, have you tried everything? Have you talked to her? Do you know why she doesn't want to put out? Like, I got a hunch you haven't tried everything, pal. I got a hunch with how quickly you fucked some random whore in your DMs, you weren't as thorough trying to rekindle the romance with your wife. By try everything, you mean you rubbed her back for 10 minutes while you were watching Jeopardy, and you're like, no, fine. Then you did fucking tackling drills by yourself in your garage.
I'm team this guy. This guy. I respect this guy.
Yeah, I mean, look, from what I'm hearing here, you might, and listen, 30, do you have kids is my biggest question.
Sure.
And if you don't have kids, pal, it sounds like, again, just going off of what we know, a completely sexless, begging for it relationship in your, early 30s, sounds like there's some red flags in the relationship. Yeah. You're probably not really connecting as much. Maybe she's overworked. Like, look, I don't know the median income of a fucking high school wrestling coach. I'm guessing it ain't that Is she pulling double shifts to pay rent?
Yeah.
Like, what did you mean try everything? Did you go to grad school? Did you get are you hanging drywall when you're not wrestling? Like, how much, there's just so much to a reason women don't want to fuck their husbands. And oftentimes it gets so like shrunken down to she's being a fucking bitch.
Yeah.
When it's like she's probably stressed out. There's probably so many factors. And if there aren't, and you guys are just fundamentally incompatible sexually, then either answer, you probably shouldn't be together. Right?
Or she's on OnlyFans all day, fucking two of the kids he teaches wrestling while he's at work, and she's tired.
They've got her pussy in a full Nelson.
Yeah, there's so many reasons women, but so many guys. That was my greatest fear about marriage. That all of a sudden the person doesn't want to fuck anymore. Right, they don't want to.
Right. Yeah,
that's what happens. That's every fucking married guy who's over 40 complains. I don't get blown anymore. This doesn't happen. They all complain about that shit.
Right. So. And to me, almost always there is something that they whenever you hear a guy complain about that, or a person complain about that, it's like they're oftentimes ignoring the reasons they're doing that feed into this.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where it's like, yeah, your relationship is probably bad on some level. And you have just been, you don't get to just like fuck some lady look, it wasn't even like one time and you were overcome with guilt and you stopped. You fucked this bitch for a couple months and you're actively during this call, you're like, I gotta stop it, but the pussy's so good. Yeah. Like in the middle of saying you need to stop, you're like, oh, you're not even hard right now. You're like, this guy's completely flaccid talking to me, and he's talking about how good the pussy is. So,
well, he's talking himself into why he's gonna do it again. He's not gonna stop, and he shouldn't stop. Keep fucking them up.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
But you do have two paths, my friend. And one is much harder, unfortunately, and maybe it sounds like he's setting himself up to feel like he had no choice.
Yeah.
But to break up or to cheat, you did have a choice. You do have a choice, but you have to be honest with yourself. What is the real reason you and your wife don't fuck? Is it really her being kind of a bitch, or are there problems in your relationship? Either way, you have cheated, right? And, you either gotta stop and kind of come clean, which is gonna be brutal and you're not gonna do. I can tell you that. You don't feel like you're gonna do it. Or maybe you have to just be honest and see, is this real? You love your wife very much. You didn't love her that much if you're getting your fucking ass eaten for a couple months. Again, it wasn't even like a once spur of the moment thing. It's like once you're locked into even a fling, I do think there is levels to cheating. You're in kind of a, and by the way, it's a kid's mom that you like. That's a fuck. You're an idiot.
I
You're
know.
gonna get caught. That's the other thing. Is like she might know. This is probably from a couple months ago. This guy's probably getting divorced right now, and she's got the house. You're fucked. Like you gotta,
Stav, I'm going to say this is the first time a high school coach has been my hero. What a great move. She's not putting out at home. You'll fuck that damaged kid's broken mother. It's awful. You know what kind of... By the way, be careful of the husband. That's what you got to remember. There's a guy in her life who's either knows she's cheating or suspects or he's fucking lurking. And if he doesn't shoot you, he'll blow you up at home. So just be careful. But keep doing it. I would say keep fucking her. Because if your wife is not going to give you what you got to go out there and just keep fucking her. Teach her a lesson.
Yeah.
You've earned it, coach. Wish I had a whistle.
He's just holding a clipboard that says "Keep getting pussy." Check. All right. Well, good luck.
God bless.
You're kind of fucked here, but all right. What else we got, Eldest?
Hey there, Stav. Hey, Eldest. Hey, guest. So my problem is I'm a 37-year-old, and for most of my life, my friends and I have been pretty adventurous. We will book trips to go around the world, do backpacking, go kayaking, do these like really big kind of grand things. And the problem that I'm running into now is I'm at an age where I know I'm not going to have 2 more years of this. If you're trying to do these like push yourself harder and harder sorts of things, you get, I don't know, maybe early 40s to be able to keep doing these sorts of things.
Okay.
And at this point, most of the friends that I've grown up doing all this with, they're at an age where they're starting to have kids and just they're not available to do these things anymore. Okay. And so here I am knowing that I only have a few more years to do this, but I just don't have the guys that I've done this with forever to do it with anymore. And I'm trying to figure out how do I keep moving forward and trying to create these really cool memories that mean something to me while not
Pause this.
How many times, sir, have you been in a party talking and then you realize you were holding a drink and everyone was left? You're just by yourself.
No one wants to do your gay little triathlons. They want to fucking see their child grow up.
Yeah.
What's the cooler memory? Is the first steps of a baby, or like, oh wow, you fucking climbed a mountain with another guy who lives in his van, dude? It's not. Yeah, I'm sorry to shit on you, but it's like, yeah, that's what you're talking about. You like it. They have moved on. Anyway, let's see. Droning on aside, does he get to the point soon, Eldest, do you think?
Yeah. And trying to create these really cool memories that mean something to me while not having the core group that I've had to do it with forever.
Okay,
I know
there is a
that
question
just from
in here.
experience that, from my understanding, there's really 2 options. You either make friends with people who are in their like late 20s and keep doing this, and God, that feels pathetic at my age.
Sure.
Or on the flip side, you start signing up for these like adventure groups where you have a guide and they take other similar-minded people out to do these things. I've done those in the past, and usually what ends up happening is they shave all the danger out of it so that you have
What's
porters
going on in
carrying
this
all your
guy's
gear
life?
for you. They're cooking all your lunches. Like, you're not doing any of the stuff that
What do
actually
you
makes
want?
the trip hard and therefore fun. And so I know I've got to do something because, again, it really means something to me. I
Why?
just can't figure out how
Why
you
does
keep
this mean something to
losing
you?
these people that have been important to you for this sort of stuff. To this thing, I'm never going to have kids. That's not important to me.
Okay.
And so I'm losing them to something that just doesn't matter, to me at least.
The joke I did in the middle of this is real opinion.
I hope I wasn't too scatterbrained there with the way I explained that. Really love the show, and thanks for taking the call.
So funny.
I missed it. Can we hear that again?
Yeah, dude, you're like, they are right and you are wrong. And I get that too, right? Because like I've definitely experienced that where it's, I hired my best friend. Otherwise, this motherfucker would be writing listicles for some horrible website right now and I'd barely see him, right? I definitely felt that way as a comedian where it's like, my life's dumb as shit. Like when I go back to Baltimore and I look at my who in my head are my little brothers, and my brother's talking about having kids and shit like that. I'm like, he's a baby.
Yeah.
He's a 32-year-old man.
Right.
But to me, it's like, this is a fucking little kid. So it's like, people grow up, bro. People have kids. If you want to be, and you're right, it is pathetic, the like making like, making new friends or whatever. It's like, it is kind of like getting married is the right move, because I talk about all the time, being like a guy in your 40s, 50s who's just as like a pussy hound, bad guy.
Yeah.
You don't want to be that guy.
It's a rough go.
It's
40s.
fucking sad, dude. It sucks. And you are sort of hiking equivalent of that guy. You're like adventure tourism equivalent of that guy. And so you're either going to have to make new friends or, yeah, I love how you're like, it's just, I'm losing them to something that just doesn't matter. It's like raising a family does matter.
Yeah.
It's objectively more important than what you're doing, than fucking paragliding.
Yeah. You eating trail mix and then wiping your ass with poison ivy doesn't matter.
Now it matters to you. We get it. You create your own meaning, whatever. But yeah, your puckered up asshole isn't a big deal. So I think you look at it one of two ways. Yes, either work on finding different friends, maybe people that are also like-minded. If you're a person who doesn't want to have kids, there's probably people out there and it's sort of in your same boat.
Sure.
If this is really what matters to you, again, whatever, not my thing, but whatever, you like doing it. Or, meet these people. What's more important to you, the hike or the people, right? And if it's the people, you're going to have to go to some little kid birthday parties. Okay, 1 year you don't get to fucking go surfing with your boys. 1 year you guys you go to a cabin with all their kids or whatever. And it's like maybe you want to show their kids this kind of shit. Teach their kids about hiking, camping, all this kind of shit, whatever. Like, you have to decide what's more important to you, the friends or the fucking little activities. And why do you really want to cheat death with with your vacation? He's talking about how the danger's gone and all this shit. It's like, what is missing from your life?
I just don't feel alive. I want to circumcise a ram, and I don't feel like I'm living.
Yeah, dude. So and maybe you'll be able to get your friends. Maybe you have to take a break from these people until their kids get a little older and they can get a weekend away or whatever. But this is life, brother. People fucking grow up, move on, and you're the one who is. I'm not going to say wrong, but you're the one who has a different lifestyle than them, and it's up to you to decide, do you want to fit in or do you want to find some more, weird little adventure tourists like you?
I mean, you think his friends don't want to hear about his fucking Stand By Me body on the train track story anymore? You guys remember?
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah, we do, but we have shit to do, man.
I know. How much better does that coach look right now?
Yeah. Yeah. Can you go cheat on your wife or something?
Yeah. Fucking the other mom, having a good time.
That guy sounds cool compared to you.
Oh, he's the best.
Cheating's better than fucking hiking, I'll tell you that much. Dangerous hikes where you have to eat raw goat liver or whatever the fuck you find on the trail.
Yeah. Kayaking.
Yeah.
Bunch of men in the woods.
Yeah.
What a shit weekend that sounds like.
Sounds horrible.
I'd do nothing less.
Sounds bad, dude. Sums up with him that what is it in your life that makes you have to fucking fill this hole with bungee jumping or whatever the fuck you're doing?
Yeah, just wants to be away from people in a little shed, like Ted Kaczynski.
Yeah.
Weirdo in the woods.
That'd be cool if you want to fucking blow up the government. That's cooler than what you're talking about.
Yeah,
at least have some drive.
At least there's an end game.
Yeah.
What do you want to do? Kill everyone. All right.
All right, so yeah, dude. Either try and meet your friends halfway. Maybe invest a little bit with their family. Like, you either have to compromise with your friends and decide, do the people matter or does the thing matter? And if the thing matters, then yeah, there's no easy answer. You're just gonna have to find people that are like-minded, and it might take a while.
Yeah,
but whatever. Fuck you.
By the way, what a shit weekend to go camping with your friends and have to teach their kids how to do things. I want the marshmallow. Oh, I fucking hate this thing. Hate your kid.
Yeah, no, it sounds horrible to me too, but whatever. I am excited to be the bad influence uncle, though. That's my role.
So.
That's my role in a kid's life.
Yeah,
buy him some. I can't wait to Eldest has some kids. Make him engender some self-hating Albanian sentiments inside of the kid. Talk to him about Greek supremacy. Buy him toys his mom expressly forbade me from getting him. Stuff like that. I can't wait for that. What else we got, Big Eld?
Eldest, Stav, guest. Thanks for taking my call. Calling in from Austin, Texas. Buddy, I got a friend of mine has a real bad cocaine problem, been in and out of sober living for about a year now, just can't seem to get his life straight. He's one of my wife's friends, and man, he's just in a bad spot, and I can't like get it through his head to just get a job instead of doing Uber Eats all damn day, and stop doing cocaine, and just be an adult. He's like 32, 34, and he's just having a really hard time. And I'm not sure exactly what to do at this point because he's basically homeless.
Damn.
He comes over to eat, you know. He doesn't have money to eat. He's living out of his car. His car smells like shit. There's food stains all over his Honda. And the problem is that he's really hung up over his brother's passing.
Damn.
Which happened at least 10, 15 years ago. And what happens is that he'll do a bunch of cocaine and then start getting in his feels and break down. And this is just a cycle.
Really,
cocaine, feels, breakdown.
I don't really see cocaine as a mourning drug. As a drug to get sad about.
It's a real pick-me-up.
Yeah. It's like, don't you want to do pills and be sad? Don't you want to do heroin? This guy's like, I miss my brother. Like,
I haven't seen my brother in either 10 to 15 years. Some vague amount of time.
10 to 15 is awesome. 10 to 15 is awesome.
10 or 11 is an estimate.
Yeah.
10 to 15. Would you meet this guy once?
Oh, fuck. All right, finish the call here.
Feels cocaine. And he just doesn't want to better himself. I don't know what to do, man. Me and my wife are kind of at odds, and we love the guy. But with any advice you got, we would love. Have a good one.
His wife's friend is sad about his brother dying. Let's split the difference, say 12 and a half years ago. 12 and a half years ago. And he's just not... I mean, look, what do you do... If you really think this is like about his brother's passing and he has substance abuse issues and you really want to do something for the guy, then like get one big effort to put him in fucking rehab. And if it doesn't stick, hey, he's selling taquitos out of the Honda until it breaks down, and then he's sucking cock for... I don't know what to tell you. Like, if you really want to do it and your wife is the one who's kind of pushing you along here, then make a real effort. Giving him food and letting him shower in your house isn't exactly fixing anything.
Right.
You know, it's almost like adopting like a raccoon. It's like when you let a cat, you know, come inside when it snows and then leave it to its own devices the rest of the time. It's like you just kind of have adopted an animal here.
You're teaching him that he's always going to get fed.
Yeah,
he's always going to have a place to come.
Yeah. Or maybe put a little bowl out for him. You know, maybe actually treat him like an animal.
Yeah.
Have a little hose outside he can use, and put a little bowl of chow for him every day. And that's draw your boundary there. But yeah, dude. I mean, you know, just fucking. You gotta either make a real effort, but this kind of like halfway letting the guy hang out in your life and kind of, you know, suck resources and like stress everybody out. It's like, I don't know, do your best to help him, but make an actual effort instead of like, what even is his exact question? Like, what are they doing for him?
I don't know what he wants.
Yeah. Just to get him to stop doing cocaine?
I think what you got to do is have him come over. And if he wants to take a shower, he has to talk about his brother for 15 minutes without crying.
Right, yeah.
If I see one tear, you're leaving dirty.
You're leaving dirty. I'm eating a burrito in front of you.
Yeah. No lunch if you sniffle. One sniffle, motherfucker, and you're out.
Yeah, I love that. Showers for therapy. Make him go to therapy. He's been in and out of sober living. I mean, that's... He's been to rehab and it's just not sticking.
Yeah, he's using his brother's death as an excuse to continue using. I'm sure he feels bad about it, but that's the reason he pretends he can't stop.
Yeah, and that's, you know, that is fucking brutal. I mean, if he's in some kind of shitty setup, like, all you can do is give it a real effort, try and help him any way you can, but, like, at a certain point, I mean, it sucks, but it's his life.
Yep.
And what would you do? Like, what do you want to do and what does your wife want to do? And short of basically adopting a grown man, I don't know what you... And even then, it's like, who's to say he's going to stop? I mean, he's got money for cocaine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, can you set up a checking account for him that he can't, every time he's going to buy coke, put it, like, deposit it, and then, you know, get him an apartment? I don't fucking know what to do here. That's a tough one.
Hopefully he's doing coke while he drives Uber Eats and he fucking rush delivery.
Yeah,
oh my God, this guy's always on time.
I wonder what his rating is.
Wish he'd stop crying on my food.
Yeah. Why are my nachos soggy? They're here fast, but they're wet. Yeah, man, I don't know. Fucking, let's talk about that guy's wife's tits some more.
Yeah. Big fat birthing tits.
Oh, fuck. Let's get something nice, Eldest, you know?
What up, Stav? What up, Eldest? So, I'm going to cut right to the chase,
Thank
man.
you. We appreciate that.
Well, what better podcast to ask in? So I hope viewers, you're listening and get some, actually, yeah, I'll cut to the chase.
Please do.
I like fat women.
Nice,
Like,
dude.
not just like any fat women, like if you're fat, I'm going to fuck you, but like, I love the fat women. Obviously, they got to be pretty too, face over anything. But my advice is, my wife is not fat. That doesn't mean I don't think she's sexy. I love all types of women. I just like fat a little more.
That's awesome.
But here's the thing. She's been eating a lot of fast food. She doesn't like to work out. She's been getting fatter, and she keeps going. She's self-conscious about it. I make her not self-conscious. I'm like, oh, you look gorgeous. But, I mean, obviously, I think she is. And for really, she's not fat right now. And I'm not, like, eating her like some weird board kink or whatever it's called. I just like the fat body type. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
On women, Stav, you're beautiful, but I mean,
thanks, man. I get it.
But anyway, I don't want to. I feel kind of selfish, like letting her do this. Like, I don't know if it's selfish to like be like when she's like, we'll go to McDonald's and I'll get like just a 10-piece and fries, and she'd be like, what should I get? I'm like, get the 20-piece and the Big Mac.
Oh, boy.
This guy's literally doing the thing we said about the guy's wife's tits.
Right now,
He's literally slowly dropping hints about getting fatter. This is incredible. What a fucking guy. This literally feeding his wife's addiction.
He's like, I don't know if it's selfish that I want my wife to have coronary disease so my dick stays hard.
She feels bad about it, but I like fucking her 20% more.
Yeah, my wife had a mild stroke, but oh my God, she looked great with her fucking legs up in the air.
Let's finish it.
Obviously, I think she's sexy right now. She's my wife. But, I mean, if she's getting a little fatter, I mean, hey, it's a win-win. She's getting to eat what she wants, do what she wants, and I get to fuck a fat bitch. So
romantic.
It feels gross, but I also don't know if I'm doing anything wrong, really, because I'm not, like I said, I'm not, like, force-feeding her or perpetuating it in any way, but I'm also not stopping it. So, am I, like, a grimy, slimy dude? Like, I don't know, stop. So, let me know. Thanks.
This is awesome. I like this swinging back our way for once.
Yeah.
I like finally somebody's living the dream, this fucking broad. You know, look, if you're like truly forcing her to get fatter, that's one. But it's also like, I think being a neutral party, like somebody gains a little weight in their, you know, they've been together a while, life's stressful, whatever. That's one thing if you want to. But to be like, hey, you should get a 20-piece and a big, like to force her hand one way or the other. I think what you need to do is lay back and let nature take its course. I think an American woman who's semi-stressed is going to keep getting fatter, and I think these are the you know, you live in the right society if you want to fuck a fat bitch.
You sure do.
You sure do. And I'm just saying, this way, if you don't push her one direction or another, you let nature take its course. You get to, you know what I mean? You get to fuck a fat woman with a clear conscience. You know, it's not up to you to be her, hey, listen, you don't got to be her personal trainer, but you also don't got to fucking tell her to get more fries either.
I disagree. Treat your wife like a goose and shove a funnel down her throat like when they want to make fucking pate, whatever the fuck it is, and feed her until she's where you need her to be.
Yep. Chain her up like veal. Make sure she gets no movement whatsoever.
Nice tender thighs, not a muscle on them. Fucking big soft wildebeest you can roll around with.
Yep, that's beautifully said, Jim. Yeah, dude, let it go. You know, you're good. Just don't force feed her. Let nature take its course. Don't comment one way or the other. Make her feel better. But if she starts working out and if she tries to stop being fat, you can't stop her. That's really the thing.
Yeah.
That would be fucked up. If she starts putting protein powder and you put Nesquik in her protein powder to make sure, you know what I mean? If you're fucking she meal preps and you just pour olive oil in it when she's not looking, in her steamed broccoli, she's like, this is a really good batch. That's when you're being a fucking dickhead, but you're good right now, I think. You just gotta be Switzerland about the whole thing.
We're trying to get her into like diabetes porn. Yeah. Like you're only jerking off to women who have lost a few toes or a leg.
There's a lot of options here. Yeah, if you want to make a little more money, you could get into it sounds like he's at the tip of being in the theater category, this guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't sound so fat himself. I don't know. He doesn't have a fat voice to me.
It's about it's also sometimes people are afraid of being left, and somebody who's fat is going to stay. A lot of times it's the fear of abandonment.
Interesting.
Things like that.
Anybody ever feed you? Anybody try and plump you up?
Yeah, twice a week now. No, not at all. No one has ever, because I don't get like sexy.
Right.
Fat, I get just doughy. Yeah, and I get sickly.
Yeah.
Frog.
You melt into yourself.
I melt into myself. It's unattractive.
Yes.
I look like if you held me upside down, my head would get fatter.
Yeah. I definitely have had a couple women expressly fuck me because they like fucking real big fat guys. If like rubbing my belly a little too in a way that makes me feel like I'm getting molested.
Yeah.
Like in a
great
weird
feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, it actually is pretty sick.
Yeah. Feel wanted.
I'm like, whoa, what the? Yeah, truly, like it kind of fucked me. One time it happened. The first time it ever happened to me, I was, I had started getting a little pussy off of, online fame. I started getting a little cum town pussy, and I was on tour, and a girl hit me up. I happened to be in her city, and I'm like, oh, she must have listened to the, podcast. No, I plugged my date. She hit me up. Complete happenstance. Did not know about the podcast. Followed me because she liked fucking fat guys. And I was like, what the fuck? And she was literally like I saw a look in her eyes I had never, like women, even women who like loved me, that we were in a relationship with, I saw a look in her eyes where I was like, oh my God, like, is this how men look at women in a strip club? I was like kind of scared the level of sexual energy that was coming off, and it was like, felt cool. She was, a little crazy. Who would have guessed?
She was.
Yeah.
But how good in bed was she?
It was it was out of control. Didn't even so much as look sideways at a condom. And that was,
Why would you?
Yeah.
Why would you?
Really worried about it for months later.
Yeah.
In the clear. It's been a few years.
You got called up to the majors when you go up to bat in Yankee Stadium. You put a bag over your back. What the fuck you doing? Get dirty.
It was crazy. It felt awesome. And I've had a couple of those too happen where it's like somewhere in between where it's like, and it's always true, like something's wrong with them and they're like a screw has gone loose in their head and they are way too hot.
Yeah.
It's like some of the hottest women that I've hooked up with have had that feeling, and it's been like, not a lot, obviously. That'd be crazy if there was like, 50 of these women running around, but it was like a nice handful that I will think about quite often.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think I'm going to go beat off now.
Me too, just thinking about you being treated so well.
Just because you're a good friend.
I jerk off to my friends being treated with respect. Please be treated like a king, for Christ's sake.
Anyway, I think that's going to do it for us. Jim, thank you so much for coming on the show.
This is so
fun,
much.
dude.
This is great. I loved it, and thanks for having me on.
Anytime, brother. Anytime you want to come back on, let us know. Go watch the YouTube channel. Go see Jim live. And, we'll see you next week, guys. Bye-bye.
Thanks, buddy.